You ever notice how some truths feel like they're waiting for you, patient, silent, until the moment you finally dare to look at them? That's exactly how it felt the day I found the postcard. It wasn't glowing. It wasn't humming. It didn't even look special, just a worn rectangle of paper. And yet, the moment I touched it, something in my chest tightened, like it recognized me before I recognized it. And as my fingers brushed its edges, I felt this quiet promise whispering between the fibers. Everything you think you know is about to shift. On its front, there was a city like nothing from our world. A skyline carved not by human ambition, but by the instincts, traditions, and brilliance of the world's oldest nations, the animals. And for the first time, I felt the strange ache of witnessing a truth I never knew I'd been missing. The city that shouldn't exist, but does. The postcard showed a sprawling metropolis where every species lived not as background characters, but as leaders, architects, philosophers, and guardians of their own civilizations. Massive, elevated walkways built by elephants stretched across the skyline, wide enough to support thousands of animals moving in synchronized harmony. Glass towers constructed by beavers rose like monuments of precision, shining with reflections of flowing river systems they had engineered through the heart of the city. Above everything, flocks of birds sailed in perfect formation, guiding aerial platforms crafted from interwoven branches and wind-sculpted metals. And yet, the stillness of the image made it feel alive, almost breathing, as if the city wasn't built for animals, but by them and for themselves. Before this moment, I thought I understood the world. I thought humans were the storytellers, the decision-makers, the architects of meaning. But one glance at this postcard cracked that illusion open like thin ice under heavy steps. I read the tiny caption at the bottom: Ira 2, capital of the concordance of species. A place I had never heard of, a place that should not exist. And yet somehow, it felt older than every city built before the year 1, and every settlement that ever rose before Christo. What it means when animals rule cities. This wasn't a world where animals simply talked. No. Sentience changed everything. Predators served as strategists, guardians, and philosophers of conflict. Herbivores shaped the foundations of diplomacy and community, guided by generations of instinctive cooperation. Birds mapped migration routes into something more: aerial highways, seasonal calendars, and long-distance communication networks. Marine species oversaw waterways that connected continents with currents engineered like public transit. Humans, if they even existed in that place, were nowhere in view. But here's the part that really struck me. There was no fear in this city. Not the kind we carry: fear of danger, fear of scarcity, fear of one another. Instead, the energy of the city was balanced, purposeful, connected. And it made me wonder, were we the ones who misunderstood our place in the world? The secret history, hidden on the back. I turned the postcard over, and the words on the back weren't addressed to anyone. They were a message, a confession, a warning. In our world, every species found a voice, but not all voices wanted power. Some wanted harmony. Cities grew not from dominance, but from understanding. It continued. We did not eliminate one another to rise. We listened, we adapted, we shared what each species knew best. When I read that line, my breath caught, because it made me realize something quietly painful. Our world, this world, could have been so much more if we had learned to see life not as a hierarchy, but as a collective. And maybe that's why the postcard felt heavy in my hand. It carried the weight of a possibility we never reached, an unexpected sigh of relief. About halfway through reading the postcard, I caught myself smiling, and I didn't even know why. Maybe it was the way the message flowed with this gentle certainty, like it knew I'd been holding questions I never said out loud. Why do we feel so disconnected? Why does everything feel louder, faster, more overwhelming every year? Why do we search for meaning as if we lost it somewhere along the way? And in a strange way, this glimpse into another reality answered all of them without saying it directly. Because in Ira 2, nothing seemed rushed. Every building had a purpose, every creature had a place, every voice mattered. For a moment, the city on that postcard didn't feel like a fantasy. It felt like a memory of something humanity once reached for, and then forgot. the tension beneath the beauty. But here's the part of the message that stayed with me the longest. Harmony does not mean the absence of conflict. It means conflict no longer destroys us. The animals of that world didn't become wise because they were perfect. They became wise because they learned to face their worst instincts and choose differently. Wolves still led. Lions still ruled. Owls still judged. But together. Predators didn't eliminate to survive. Prey didn't hide to live. They transformed their roles instead of denying them. It made me think, what would our cities look like if we did the same? The final line that changed everything. At the bottom of the postcard, barely legible, was a final sentence. If you found this, your world is ready. I stared at that line for a long time. Ready for what? To listen, to evolve, to see life differently. Then I realized, maybe the postcard wasn't from another world trying to warn us. Maybe it was from another world trying to invite us. A bridge, not a threat. A whisper, not a command. A reminder, not a prophecy. And suddenly I felt grateful. Grateful for a truth I didn't ask for but somehow needed. Grateful for a glimpse of a reality that didn't try to dominate nature, but grew with it. Grateful for the possibility that our world could still change. The choice you're left with. So now the postcard is in your hands too, and whether you believe it came from another dimension, another future, or a forgotten possibility, is up to you. But if something inside you stirred, even a little, if something whispered that this message was meant for you, then you already know. This wasn't the story of animals ruling cities. It was the story of a world that remembered how to live. A world that chose connection over chaos. Purpose over power, understanding over fear, and maybe, just maybe. This postcard didn't come to show you what they built. It came to show you what we still can. Before you go, if this journey through another reality lit a spark inside you, if it made you reflect, imagine, or even breathe a little deeper, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and share this story with someone who needs a glimpse of a world filled with possibility. Thank you for being here. You have no idea how much it means.